live for action. A little bit of a run, he's gonna run now. Oh, wide finish, I think Tyler's got it.
Energy. How are we feeling today? Good? Perfect. Well, I'm Josh Denzel, your host for the second annual Ford Performance Season Kickoff. And we're going to be streaming around the world for the next half an hour or so. And we've got a packed program to get through, trust me. We're going to be taking a look at all of the exciting race coming up for 2025. We're going to spotlight the people behind the victories and, of course, the feats of engineering that make their way from the races to your driveway. From the roar of the legendary Cody V8 pounding around the oval to the electric power of a prototype racing towards the clouds. Technology born off the beaten track and heading to your next Raptor. And of course, Ford's return to the pinnacle of motorsports in Formula One. And maybe, just maybe, a few more surprises for you, so do not go anywhere. So let's get started by bringing out the Global Director of Ford Performance, Mark Rushbrook. Mark, you're a very, very busy man. You've got a lot going on. Why does Ford race so much?
Well, we race for a lot of reasons. There's innovation, technology transfer, marketing, but first and foremost, we always race to win. Win races, win championships. And that's exactly what the team did. 24 hours at Daytona last weekend, the new Mustang GT3.
Guys, give a big round of applause for Ford's big win in Daytona.
And the podium.
No doubt. Now tell me about the road to that huge victory.
Yeah, all of these programs are so tough. The amount of effort that goes into it. And the Mustang GT3, it's been 3.5 years since we started that program with the engineering, design, development, test for 2 years. And then last year, racing. It was a tough first year for that car. It's such a tough competitive series. But everybody kept working hard, worked hard in the off season, and then came back and got it done in the big race where it really matters.
So it was a double podium and outright win. I mean, that is a powerful statement. You're getting first and third just 1 year after introducing the Mustang GT3.
Yeah, well, it's a team effort, right? Like, yes, we are a car company and we're racing cars and trucks in this, but it's the people that matter. It's the engineers, the race engineers, the pit crew. And at the end of the day, when you're out on track, it's the drivers that have to get it done. And we've got some of the best drivers in the world.
You're talking of some of the best drivers. You guys in the room, you want to meet some of the drivers that took down the Rolex 24 at Daytona, right? Well, you're in luck, because here they are, fresh off their podium finishes in the Mustang GT3 Rolex 24 at Daytona. We've got third place finisher, Austin Cindric. We've got champions, Dennis Olsen, Chris Mies, and Fred Babiche.
Yes.
How are you, brother?
Yes.
How are you, brother? Chris, good to see you, brother. How are you? Guys, I've got to say, start with a congratulations to you, and I should have kept my sunglasses on because these Rolexes are shining. Well, I know. You'll be careful in the car park, guys. But listen, I've got to say, Dennis, I'm going to start with you. How did you feel when you crossed the line at the head of that GTD Pro class?
It was absolutely incredible. So much emotion and all the hard work that has been done in the background from Ford Performance and Multimatic, as well as from our whole crew. We have some of the guys here tonight as well, and I'm extremely proud. And obviously, I just got a dad as well 6 weeks ago, so wow. It was pretty emotional when I took my helmet off and saw my daughter on the back of the helmet. So absolutely incredible, and I'm extremely proud of everybody here.
That's absolutely incredible, just like you said. Now, Fred, is there more pressure on you when you're racing in a team? And it seems like you guys are pretty close than racing on your own.
Yeah, I think there's no more pressure, but everybody counts on each other, and I have two great mates within Dennis and Chris, and we all doing our job, and I think we did the best job possible because yeah, we came back as winners. So
no doubt about it. Now, Chris, what does it take to get to the top of America's biggest sports car race?
Obviously, preparation and execution. We had a tough year last year, as Mark said. We never gave up. The boys and girls at Ford Performance and Multimatic did everything they could over winter, and then it was up to us to execute during the race, and we did. No mistakes, no scratch on the car. We were there when it mattered. We overtook, and yeah, we just did whatever we had to do, and finally we came home with a well-deserved win, I think, for everyone at Ford and Multimatic.
No, it was an incredible victory. Now, Mark, how do you put a team like this together, a successful team that obviously has such a good energy and a vibe and is winning?
Yeah, well, it takes a lot of trust and determination. We work really well with Multimatic as our partner, as the racing team. But it's finding the right people, the right skill set, and the right DNA to be able to fit together. Not just be fast, but to work together as a team.
No, for sure. Now, Austin, you've already won the Daytona 500. How did it feel to add another Ford podium at Daytona?
Yeah, well, I think the one common thread there is you have to have fast race cars, and you know, I think our Ford Mustang GT3s were super fast from the moment we unloaded at the Roar, but the reliability, you know, we talked about some of the concerns from the first year of the car, even just watching on the couch. I mean, the execution, the reliability that those cars had throughout the race for Dennis and Sebastian to put in the stints that they did to finish was really cool to be a part of, and awesome program, and good way to start the year on the podium.
A great way to start the year, no doubt. Now, I've got to say, from me and everybody in here and everyone at Ford, congratulations for all of you for delivering a double podium at the Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona. Now, I think it's time that we see just where else the Mustang pony is going to be racing. Take a look. Now that is a global performance car. And here to tell us more about Mustang racing is Kevin Groot, who heads up Ford sports car programs. Kevin, you're a popular man in here. There we go. Listen, last year you knocked on the door at Daytona, but it's safe to say this year you kicked that door in. Are you going to be returning to 24-hour endurance racing?
Heck yeah, we've got 3 more this year. And all 3 of those are in the month of June, back to back to back.
You're going back to back to back?
It's going to be crazy.
You don't like doing it the easy way, do you?
Nope.
Well, where else are you going to be racing Mustang then?
Well, we'll be all over the world, for sure. 130 different races, a record for Ford, more than 15 different countries. GT3, we're making a big push in Europe. We've got our HRT as our team there. And then we've got, you know, in other series, NHRA, Formula Drift, NASCAR, Le Mans Invitational in June.
For those that don't know, what is the Le Mans Invitational?
Well, this one is special. That car over there, the Dark Horse R,
Yeah?
single make series. We're going to have a ton of coyotes howling down the straight of the Mulsanne.
Listen, I've managed to get a ride along, and I've driven a Dark Horse R, and listen, that's going to wake up the locals, let me tell you that now. So who's going to be driving the Dark Horse? Is it going to be pros, going to be amateurs?
Well, it's going to be open to anyone with a license, so many levels of opportunity. So we've got GT3, GT4, and Dark Horse R for Mustang Challenge and Mustang Cup.
So how are you going to then, I guess, cultivate the talent in that pyramid?
Well, much like our vehicle strategy where we've got a top tier, we also have factory drivers, GT3 Pro, GT3 Juniors, and then underneath that, our Ford Performance Junior team, which they're here tonight.
All right, guys, give it up for the young guns of the Ford Performance Junior team who are in there. Guys, I cannot wait to see you wearing your own Rolexes very, very soon. But now, let's flip the globe for some big news from Down Under.
Sweep at the mountain. A three-peat. It hasn't happened in 25 years.
Great day for Ford.
Let the party begin for Jamie Whincup because he's the champion.
Things have been raucous this year. It doesn't get any better. new era awaits. We're back.
You guys saw him in the video. Now here he is all the way from Brisbane. Brisbane's not a place, is it? Brisbane, Australia, racing legend Jamie Whincup. Mark, tell us about this partnership that we've just seen.
Yeah, we are so excited about this. Like I said, we race to win, and we've got great teams, and we want like-minded partners, and that's exactly what 888 is. They are a race team built around an engineering company. So they know how to design the car, they know how to set up the car, they know how to win. They've shown it with their race wins and championships.
Now, Jamie, that sounds wicked, but what does this partnership mean for you?
Yeah, it's obviously massive for us. Firstly, thanks for having us here. It's a long trip over. This event's incredible. We love cars, we love racing, and this event's incredible. But we're super excited to partner with a brand that loves inspirational road cars and showcases that in their motorsport programs, to be teaming up again next year and to add some more of this stuff that we just saw is really, really exciting. We can't wait.
Now, the video especially, I know everybody's really, really excited, and I can tell you that we are very excited to see what you and Ford can do again. So thank you very much, Jamie. Now,
thank you. Cheers.
Pleasure to have you. Now, let's take a look at some truly electric news. A Mach-E built like a NASCAR racer. Thank you. Thank you. Guys, that is special. There it is, the Mustang Mach-E NASCAR prototype. And it's double bubble, because this is unveiled by veteran NASCAR driver David Reagan. Thank you so much, David, for doing that for us. But the question is, Mark, why build an electric prototype to a NASCAR?
Yeah, we love these full electric demonstrators that we build. It started with a Cobra Jet 1400 in drag racing, the Mustang Mach-E 1400 for drifting. We built a F-150 Lightning switchgear off-road with Pikes Peak demonstrators with Supervan 4, F-150 Lightning, but we hadn't done anything full electric in the NASCAR space. And we know we're not racing there full electric, of course. We love our V8 engines in NASCAR, but we want to go experiment. We want to learn about the technology in this space and create some spectacles and fun along the way.
No doubt. Now, speaking of electric prototypes, I think it's time that we bring up Romain Dumas, who actually raced 2 Ford electric prototypes all the way to the clouds at Pikes Peak. Romain, pleasure to have you here. A true legend. Shift across. Romain, Pikes Peak is a massive challenge for every competitor that competes in it. But what is it like in an electric vehicle?
Well, I think you said the truth. Pikes Peak, it's a great, incredible challenge. Yeah. But you know, to compete on an electric car, I mean, we had so much success the last 2 years. It's just because with an EV car, you have a lot of power. I mean, with Ford Performance, we have an incredible chassis. Yeah. And at the end of the day, you know, when you have the perfect package, you just need to drive as fast as possible.
And that is the perfect package, you would say?
Oh yeah, this is clearly the perfect package. I guess the new car this year will be even faster. Year after year, you know, we are putting lap time down, and we will continue like that, definitely.
Can you tell us now if you're going to challenge the mountain again? Are we going to see you do it? Are we?
I think you should ask more my boss than me, but I guess if I'm here tonight, it's because we will challenge against this mountain, yeah.
Of course, and I'm sure everybody is excited about that. So, listen. The Mach-E is very, very special. I think it's time we take a little peek. Now, Mark, that is big news. I mean, what do you expect to get out of what is bound to be a very intense climb?
Yeah, I mean, Pikes Peak is amazing, as Romain has said, and everything that he's done there. But It's learning for us. It's competing on a very intense environment with a full electric vehicle, but it creates an incredible spectacle to really engage our fans to show what the full electric performance potential is. Perfect place to do it.
For those that haven't seen it, it is definitely going to be one to watch from out at the wheel. Now, we cannot wait to see you take on the king of the mountain again, and this time in a Mackie. Now, speaking of mountains, I think it's time that we hit the wild for some off-road racing. Now, let me tell you, that was gritty, and I'm blessed to be here with Will Ford, General Manager of Ford Performance. Will, we had a little taste, but how do you feel about this off-road season?
Well, we're off to a pretty hot start. We're fresh off the podium in the first year of our new Dakar program, but we got a lot of racing still ahead of us. We're racing across 5 continents in the off-road space this year, all the toughest environments on Earth.
5 races, 5 continents, I mean, more than 5 races, 5 continents, so many races. But how does that off-road racing then affect customers? What does it mean to the customers?
Adventure, hard work, trust in your vehicle, and a lot of fun. That is what the off-road space is all about. That's what Ford is all about. So there's no better place for us to showcase those and push it to the absolute limit than in the off-road racing space. You know, we race all over the world. We seek out the harshest environments, put our trucks through absolute torture tests, and all that learning, it finds its way back into the Raptors and the Broncos that we can sell for you guys, for you to love and drive every day.
So there's definitely a direct link between the competition, the torture you put the cars through, and then the end product that the Ford customers actually make. So that's absolutely perfect. Now, we've spoken a little bit about punishing off-road events. So I think it's time we bring out Mike Norton of Ford Performance. We're also going to bring out 2-time King of the Hammers champion, Lauren Healy, and Dakar Rally podium finisher, Matthias Ekstrom. Shift up, boys. What's happening, guys? Good to have you here. Listen, Lauren, I'm going to start with you. What is King of the Hammers?
So the way to describe King of the Hammers is take 100,000 off-road enthusiasts, put them out in the middle of the California desert with, you know, no electricity, no water, no anything, and we build a city out there. And for 3 weeks, we raced bikes, trophy trucks, off-road, King of the Hammers, and then the culmination is when we actually race the Broncos in the stock class trucks as well as the King of the Hammers.
And you're a 2-time champion of that chaos, that car torture. What does it take to get there? What does it take to be a 2-time champion?
I mean, we always describe it as an 8-hour car wreck. So it's just absolutely wild. We race in the desert at very high speeds, 120 miles an hour out through the desert, but then we have to go through these rock canyons that we're rock crawling through, these crazy boulders at, 2 miles an hour, and it's the most intense beating that you can ever think of that you can put a vehicle through. And that's what's been so cool about the 6th Gen Bronco being born in Johnson Valley, designed out there around the King of the Hammers, and made it such an amazing vehicle to compete there, Baja, all over the world.
Sounds like you guys at Ford are gluttons for punishment, it seems. You just want to do the toughest stuff ever. Well, what can we expect from the King of the Hammers? Give it to me from your point of view.
We expect to be on top of the podium again. We've done it for the last 3 years in the stock class, and we expect to do it for a 4th year in a row. No pressure, Lauren, don't worry. But yeah, we've got 7 Broncos racing this year across 2 classes, and it's going to be a wild ride.
No doubt. Talking of punishment, how about truck racing in the Saudi desert? Matthias, first of all, congratulations on your podium and winning stage 11 outright. Incredible. How did you do it?
I think the stage 11 pace we had was amazing. We had the greatest of the sport behind us, and the truck got all in full send ride, and Emil, my co-driver, did an amazing job. So coming to the finish, realizing that stage also, the stage win also made the podium possible, was just a great feeling. And yeah, a lot of hard work paid off.
We've spoken a lot about a team spirit and a togetherness, and I know that your co-pilot actually is also in the room right now.
Yeah, he's somewhere around here, down there.
There he is. Give him a bit of love. Now, Mike, why does a punishment is the word of the day here? But why does Ford punish these vehicles like this? What have they done to you?
Well, it's pretty straightforward, really, because when you get involved in racing, the punishment that you make the cars and the trucks and the vehicles go through, you can't replicate in testing. Yeah. Racing brings it to a whole new level. So when we do that, we had to take our parts back to Dearborn. We can analyze all the data, we can dissect the fluids, and then from there, we end up improving, ready for the next race. But not only that, the improvement we make then ends up on all of our road cars and all of our trucks for these guys.
I was gonna say, can you give me an example of how that off-road kind of racing and torture and destruction of the cars actually improves the production vehicles?
Well, I mean, so there's a bit of a story. So 20 years ago, we went to Baja with a F-150 Raptor, and we had to build some very, very unique Fox shocks just to get to the end of the race. And now, we went last year, and the shocks that were on our, both of our trucks in Baja are almost identical to what all of these guys can have on their trucks, on their Raptors, on their trucks that they can buy in the showroom.
So that there's a direct link between that race innovation and that technology and the end consumer. It's absolutely...
That is tech transfer in its purest form.
100%. Now, Will, how did the Baja 1000 go in November? That's another grueling race, but pretty successful, right?
Baja is one of a kind. It's the amount of grit and teamwork it takes to get the trucks, not just across the finish line, but to win the race is unlike anything I've ever seen before. And we did just that. The Bronco DR won its heavy metal class, and the Ranger Raptor also winning the mid-size truck class. Baja is one of a kind.
And the Raptor T1 Plus that Matthias raced in Dakar, where did that technology come from?
But I mean, the technology, it's been coming from 25 years of racing, off-road, all over the world with loads of disciplines, great partners like our friends at M Sport. We've got teams of people, whether they're in the UK or Europe or they're over in the US here, the full carbon fiber bodywork, all the aerodynamics done by our team here in Charlotte. We've got the V8 Coyote, we've got our Fox shocks. It's just a culmination of everything we do racing around the world.
It's incredible. It sounds like an amazing team effort to propel Matthias to the podium. Now, Will, what do you think of the partnership that you have with Red Bull at the Dakar Rally?
We're so proud of our partnership with Red Bull everywhere we go racing with them. Dakar is a great representation of that. They were in the trenches with us, grinding away, and we're excited for a very exciting future with them.
No doubt, I'm sure it'll be very exciting. And actually, speaking of Red Bull, I know you all want to see what Ford and Oracle Red Bull Racing have been up to in Formula One.
Formula One, it's the ultimate challenge.
Everything is aerospace level. You're treating each part like life or death.
It's the fear of failure that drives us all in Formula One. We do not underestimate the scale of the challenge of coming in as a new power unit manufacturer.
We're in a race to 2026. It's very close.
It's not a marathon, it's a sprint race.
This is the biggest change that Formula One has had, I think probably in 70 years, where chassis and engine have all changed at the same time. Bringing the electrical world and the combustion world together, what better partner than Ford to help us in that journey?
Whenever you take on a big project, there's the early days, the excitement, and then when you get into it, there are moments of what have we gotten ourselves into.
Our motorsports timelines we think of in months to a year. In the Red Bull world, we're talking hours to days.
For a race car to work in F1, it has to be light, it has to be fast. In 2026, the battery becomes more important, is generating and producing 350 kilowatts. So you get more power out of the battery and you still have to make it light.
This was the first time they had ran the turbo. So when we finally installed it on our test bench, there was a little bit of nervousness. Are the clearances internally okay? Is the bearing system right? Is all of the oiling system working out?
A lot of our responsibility has become the manufacturing of additively produced parts. They're very complicated. The geometry is very complicated. We make estimates for how long it's going to take to deliver something. You hit challenges that you don't expect, and you have to react.
There's a lot of sleepless nights where I worry about my parts and my designs and everything, but at the same time, I think we have a great team, and I think we have the right tools to be successful.
You've got a number of Ford engineers around the company, not just in motorsports, but in other areas, who've put a lot of effort into this.
We want to make sure that we have a high-performing car with 100% confidence that all those parts in that car were built to the highest quality.
To see that famous Ford logo coming back into Formula One emblazoned on our cars, it will be a big moment of pride, I think, for everyone in the organization.
With this program, we're not just making powertrains here, we're making history.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute. Did I just hear the Red Bull Ford power unit roaring at the end now? I mean, that is massive, massive news. And I'm blessed to be on this stage with two guys who are responsible for making that rumble happen. It's Ford CEO Jim Farley and, of course, Oracle Red Bull Racing team principal and CEO Christian Horner.
Christian Horner, come on.
There we go. I'm glad. Energy in the room is building. Jim, you're a year away from the starting grid in 2026. Be honest, how's it going?
It's going to be a lot of pressure. Bill Ford's here, Christian, everyone's counting on Ford.
Yeah.
You know, going back to Formula One after all these years, it's a great, exciting moment, but we got to win, right? So that's where the pressure is going to come.
We talk about that pressure. This is definitely a partnership. It's going to be an excellent partnership. But what happens when Christian calls you after the third race and says, Jim, what's going on? It's not happening for us.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably going to happen. I don't know if it's the third or the eighth race, and I think there's no pressure in racing like Formula One. And this is going to be a great lesson for our company. And that's exactly why we want to do it.
100%.
Because it matters.
For sure, it absolutely matters. Now, Christian, from your side, how has this partnership with Ford been for you?
Well, look, it's been fantastic, and I think being here tonight and just seeing Ford's involvement in motorsport is amazing, and we feel really proud bringing the Ford Oval back into Formula One and seeing the Ford logo back on our Formula One cars. I think it's going to be a really special moment. This week, in a year's time, we're going to see Red Bull Ford powertrains powering two teams down the pit lane in Barcelona.
I mean, when you say Ford, F1, Oracle Red Bull Racing, it drives a level of emotion. But it's got to be two-way, right? So, Jim, how will how will this partnership benefit the end consumer, these guys, the Ford consumers who came here in their F-150s and their Raptors and their Broncos?
You could easily argue that the best engineers in the world are in Formula One. And there are a lot of hard problems to solve for EVs, embedded electric architecture, software. We have a lot of tech, and these guys know tech better than anyone. Predictive failure components, aero. These are all going to be things that all of our customers are going to experience because of Red Bull.
It's not like, I mentioned we were having a little chat, and it's not like back in the day where necessarily you'd make a race engine and you'd put it in an Escort. It's a tech transfer now, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. The software that they run for, predictive failure of components, we need that for our pro customers. The battery tech, they are pushing the limits on battery tech.
And Christian, listen, nobody knows the paddock and the sport and the talent like you. But how do you then think about talent in this new power unit era? Does that come into your mind?
Yeah, look, absolutely. I mean, Formula One, like any business, is a people sport, and you've got to have the best people, the best designers, engineers, technicians. And I think this partnership for us, we've just been introduced to the most amazing people, within Ford, and the passion and the determination that we're seeing from within Ford is inspiring. And I think, anything that we've asked for, it's never been too much trouble. And I think that for us is incredibly exciting. And I think particularly, we're going up against some big opponents. We got Ferrari we're taking on Mercedes, we're taking on Honda, GM are coming in. Yeah. we won't see those guys. You know, it's going to be super competitive. And I think at the end of the day, it's very much a people business, and we're so impressed with everybody that we're seeing and working with at Ford.
You always make the right decision when it comes to talent in your career. Now, Jim, I've seen some very cool footage in the video and that little sizzle that we saw before, and of course, playing behind me. What else is happening behind the scenes in this partnership that maybe that we as the fans don't see?
I think everyone would be genuinely blown away at the technology in Milton Keynes. I've been around a lot of race shops my whole career for 40 years. I see the technology they're building. There is nothing as beautiful as a Formula One car in terms of technology. It will blow you away. Their test rigs, they have test rigs for turbochargers. I mean, that never happens in any other form of motorsport. So the technology of Formula One is what people would be blown away.
There's been a real focus and a talk about 3D printing. And Christian, how does Ford's 3D printing capability affect your operations?
Well, it's just enabling us to move faster, quicker, particularly in this development phase. We got 48 weeks left to make this engine powerful and reliable. And, you know, Ford's 3D printing capabilities are just making that happen faster for us.
It allows you to fail fast, I guess, and get to the right point. I mean, listen, guys, a lot has been going on with F1, but while these guys and the engineers have been having sleepless nights and working hard, the drivers have been having a lot of fun with Ford. Let's take a look. Coming back.
Let's do it.
Dark Horse was amazing. I let him a year.
That was so much fun. I can't wait for you to see how fast it is. I love this country.
Now, let me tell you, those drivers know how to work hard, but they also know how to play hard. And good news for you guys in the room, for all of those F1 fans, we actually have one of those drivers here with us tonight. We've got the wonderful Liam Lawson. Give it up for Liam. Woo!
Thank you, guys.
Liam, I've got to ask you, I've got to start off right off the bat. How does it feel driving for Oracle Red Bull Racing in Formula One?
It's it's very exciting, but obviously a big role. For me, I'm not super experienced in Formula One, but I have been involved in the sport for a few years as reserve in the background, so I do feel ready. I'm excited. Obviously, first part of the season's coming up fast, so preparations are pretty big at the moment.
You don't seem like a man who's scared of the spotlight or the big occasions, right?
I mean, I guess in our role we're thrown into it anyway. So for me, it's nice. I've had an off season. It's the first time I've actually had some time to think about what's coming up. Both other times I've driven, it's been 12 hours notice, and then I had a week notice, I think, for Austin, or 2
You've done pretty well so far.
Yeah, it's nice to have a good break and time to prepare.
Christian, I know Liam's obviously been around the Oracle Red Bull Racing setup for a long time, but how is it having him on board and really close to you now?
Look, it's great to have Liam with us this year. Being Max Verstappen's teammate is probably the hardest job in Formula One, but I think in Liam we've got a driver that's incredibly talented. You know, he's a young guy just making his way in the sport, and I think he's got the skill, the determination, the mentality to cope with it. And I mean, he looks like he should be in a boy band, but
I was gonna say the hair. Is it NSYNC? Is it Backstreet Boys? What we going for?
I had the same. I mean, I've had Backstreet Boys with my old hair, and now I've got the same comments with my new hair. So I feel like I can't get away from it.
Well, can you sing?
He can play the guitar very well, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe after the live stream ends, if we don't lose too many viewers, we'll get you on the stage with a guitar. But Liam, back to F1. What do you think so far about Ford's return to Formula One? This is from the driver's experience.
It's so exciting, honestly. I mean, as a kid, like going through those videos just now, I grew up watching supercars in Australia, so to have that partnership with Ford is very exciting, and for us, yeah, it's a brand that I've loved working with so far. I love the vehicles and the stuff they have at the moment. I've been driving Raptor Rs and Broncos and things like that, so I enjoy that a lot. And to have the partnership in Formula One, I think it's a huge opportunity, and we're all excited for it.
I know you're a big Ford fan on and off the track. I was actually going to drive here in that Ford Raptor R, but you took it today,
I took it from you,
I will not forgive you. Jim, you got another Raptor fan here.
All right.
So,
you know, one of the things that in America we take for granted is we can get in a Raptor R and drive anywhere in our country. And for a lot of people around the world, those race trucks, our technology off-road is forbidden fruit.
It is.
So I'm not surprised, and I'm glad to hear that.
I'm not sure a Raptor R would fit down the country lanes on the way to Milton Keynes.
I try and make it work.
Liam, talk to me about how do all the new regulations for 2026 impact you as a driver?
I mean, it'll be something that we have to adapt to for sure. I know the teams, obviously, with a big regulation change, they're already working on stuff in previous years from now, and obviously now. But for drivers, we are focused on what we're doing at the moment. For us, especially for me at this time, going into my first full season, I'm very focused on that, and obviously we trust these guys to do a good job on next year's regulations. It's exciting, and it always changes things in Formula One. So, but yeah, for us drivers, we're just focused on the driving at the moment.
Well, you're definitely in good hands with the experience in motorsport that you guys both have, and the partnership that we'll see for the next, hopefully, a long time. Now, Liam, thank you so much. Christian, thank you for coming. We really appreciate it, and good luck to both of you for the 2025 season. Thank you so much. I'll ask you for a song soon.
Thanks for coming.
Jim, I've got to say, this has been a fantastic evening, and Ford Performance has given us so much to get excited about. And I know you wanted to say a few things to the fans that came out here today.
Well, thank you. So you did a great job. Thank you so much. Look, we love this event. We live for performance and racing. And we appreciate all of you for being here. All the drivers, the team, the partners, all of you who drove your vehicles here. I saw all sorts of Raptors coming in, getting parked around the event. I don't think any other car company could do this kind of event. And we are just so thankful for all of you. This is the beginning of our season.
Yep.
So we got a lot of racing to do. I don't care if it's Nani and Dakar or, you know, we're going to have a great season. And how about that win for the Mustang GT3 at Daytona, huh? Woo!
Special.
Sorry about that BMW and Corvette. We were all in tears. You have no idea how big that was for us. We're going to take the GTD back to Nürburgring and try to lower that lap record. We got Formula One coming with Red Bull. We got a lot of work to do. And we're excited to see a Ford on the Formula One grid, among a lot of things. A lot of people ask me, as the head of Ford, why do you race? And you know, some people race to give their brand a personality. Some people race to get their top engineers the experience of racing. That's not why we race at Ford. We race because it's in our DNA. It is our company. And we love winning. It is addictive, and that's why we race.
Jim, what a way to close this out.
Well, I'll tell you, thank you for being so patient, and I am so honored. We have a big surprise for everyone.
I told you we had surprises.
I'm so honored to introduce our chairman of Ford Motor Company, Bill Ford. Let's give him a big welcome.
All right then, guys, let's bring up the executive chair of Ford Motor Company, Bill Ford.
Hi, Josh. How you doing? Well, thank you. Well, this is what you get when you have a CEO who's a race car driver. I mean, you can tell his passion, and it goes through our whole company. And this really is, I believe, a new golden era for performance at Ford and for Ford racing. Because you heard tonight, we're both on the track and we're off-road. We want to win everywhere we race. And, you know, we kicked off last weekend, as Jim just said, with an amazing win It's so awesome that our drivers are here tonight. You know, you saw Dennis and Chris and Fred and Austin, and as he said, there were a lot of us in tears when they crossed the finish line. It was amazing. And he can't be with us tonight, but I want to give a special shout out to Roger Penske, who won the overall race, because nobody has done more for racing in this country than Roger.
Woo! Bill, the surprises keep coming. I think you said you got one more for us, so please don't leave us all hanging.
Yeah, we do. We do have one big surprise because when we race to win. That's been in our blood since my great-grandfather started this company on a racetrack. But there's no track or race that means more to us than Le Mans. It's where we took on Ferrari in the 1960s and beat them 4 times in a row. Then we went back 50 years later and we beat them again. And that was one of the great days in my career, was in 2016 when we did that after 50 years. But tonight, I'm really happy to announce we're going back to Le Mans, back to win, but not only the class, this time to win it all, because I'm announcing that in 2027, Ford will be competing with a new prototype LMDH.
Wow. I mean, Le Mans, that is absolutely massive news. Jim, how do you feel about this?
All I visualize is Bill Ford on that podium holding the Le Mans 24-hour trophy for all of us. How cool is that going to be?
That would be absolutely incredible. It's something that we all want to see. Now, Bill, I'm going to give you the final word before we show an incredible film.
There's really nothing left to say other than let's go like hell.
Let's go like hell.
Thank you.
That was fun.
Racing has been in our blood since the beginning. Before Henry Ford mass-produced cars, he raced them, driven by his passion to win. In 1966, the Ford GT40 made history, winning at Le Mans. And then we did it again, and again, and again. Nearly 60 years later, that same ambition drives us in every race. From the dirt to the track and everything in between. And we're not done yet. So, where to from here? Back to Le Mans. This time to compete for the overall win.
Wow, 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 wow. I mean, that's another. I told you we had surprises coming. I bet you didn't see that one coming. Now, Ford is going to clearly keep the heart-pounding, victory-seizing, industry-upending thrills coming for many, many years. Now, thank you all for joining us tonight, both here in Charlotte and, of course, around the world. Please follow Ford Performance on all social media channels to keep up with all of the exciting news and stories. And trust me, there will be a lot. Guys, thank you so much, and good night.